Wanda's customer flow relies entirely on hired actors to fill the scene. The 4S stores, spanning thousands of square meters, have no customers. They are all arranged actors. The collapse of China's 3 major first-tier cities. Numerous closures. Corpses everywhere. Jiangsu's finances are on the verge of collapse. 9 million corporate retirees are demanding wages online. Beijing's underground passages are filled with homeless people. No one in the malls during the weekend. Rows of shops closed down. It's a desolate scene. Here is the first floor. Even Jinhua bookstore is closed. Everything is empty. Look at Chipu Road, once the busiest street, now undergoing fire inspections, not even allowing models outside. Despite being the peak month for physical clothing sales, the market is deserted, and tenants are given no opportunities. How can these tenants survive? This is the supposed busy season in the second half of the year for the Saturday trading city. Have you all forgotten to come and shop here? Look at the current situation of sales. No customers at all. Since New Year's Day, everyone thought the catering industry would thrive in 2024, but the reality is a huge blow. Even large shops have no customers at a time when everyone expected an increase in business. Look at the business after New Year's Day. It's sparse. Few cultural and flower shops can be seen on the streets. Hey, today the bear encountered a ghost. It's the second day of the holiday and it hasn't opened yet. If I say it hasn't opened, do you believe how many people are in the same situation as me, still not open at 4 o'clock? What a mess. This winter, after all the festivities at this time, there are hardly any people in the market. Let me show you. Show it to the landlords first, who still want to raise the rent. With the penetration of online shopping into people's lives, physical stores have faced significant challenges. Many brick-and-mortar clothing stores, in particular, are unable to cope with bleak business and high rents, leading to closures. As a Nanjing resident, it's getting harder to survive here. What's happening in Nanjing? Wages haven't increased and prices keep rising. Some say a bowl of noodles costs 30 yuan. He could rob, but he still gives me a bowl of noodles. A hidden crisis has struck the lives of the Chinese people. Inflation has begun, and various aspects of life are in distress. Especially for grassroots people, the burden is getting heavier, but incomes are not rising, even decreasing. With skyrocketing prices, their lives become a heavier disaster. Hey, do you all have so much money? I feel like nobody thinks the current prices are outrageous. My father just wanted to buy a bottle of drink at the convenience store. 6, 7, 8 yuan. It's just a bottle of drink. Oh my God, those selling roasted sweet potatoes on the street. What are you doing? In the past, it was 5 or 6 yuan. Now a large one is over 20 or 30 yuan. A small one is 10 or 20 yuan for one sweet potato. Brothers, urgent message. They're checking bags temporarily. I felt like I was going to lose my job when I received this message for the first time. Isn't it forcing me? Brothers, something big is happening. Something big. The food delivery industry is about to change. I heard that crowdsourcing is going to be canceled, and the WeChat groups for crowdsourced riders are spreading the news that 60% of crowdsourced orders will be divided among dedicated delivery riders. Crowdsourced riders feel they can't make money anymore. After New Year's Day, it's getting worse day by day. Full-time crowdsourcing will exit the stage of history because platform prices are sliding, and there are more and more crowdsourcing models. Newcomers are emerging, and more importantly, unscrupulous people are constantly emerging. Meituan, Elegant.me, and others have undergone major model adjustments this year. If crowdsourcing is really going to be canceled, where should the brothers who deliver crowdsourcing go? Renowned Jijingpu Electronics Company, once a thriving large-scale enterprise, has recently faced difficulties. Faced with the closure of multiple projects, the company had to resort to layoffs, leading to over 10,000 mainland employees facing the fate of being laid off. This event has attracted attention from various sectors of society and has put employees in a tense situation for re-employment. First of all, the reasons for the layoffs at Nanjing Jijingpu Electronics Company are varied, influenced by both market economic fluctuations and internal management issues. Whether external or internal, for over 10,000 mainland employees, it is an economic storm. Our company is going to lay off employees again. In recent days, Taiwan-funded giant Huali Group announced plans to start construction on a shoe factory in Indonesia with an investment of 1.57 billion yuan. Huali Group is the world's second-largest sports shoe manufacturer, with around 150,000 employees. In the past 6 months, almost all shoes have been moved from the mainland to Indonesia. Additionally, the company plans to build 5 new factories in Indonesia. This move undoubtedly dealt a fatal blow to over 45,000 workers in mainland China. Above, a factory of over 10,000 people has been moved away. Even the industrial zone across the street has moved away. As someone looking for a job, it's really panic-inducing. This factory seems to be a hardware factory, and the conditions inside were pretty good. Once there were over 10,000 people. They've all moved to other places. Maybe last year, the overall environment wasn't good, and these factories across the street either moved or closed down. All went on strike. Even these dormitories are cleaned out. The once tens of thousands of people in the large factory have quietly left, leaving behind an empty industrial park. Currently, China holds an increasingly important position in the international community, being the world's second-largest economy with a population of 1.4 billion. However, when considering the per capita economic perspective, the situation on the mainland is not so optimistic. One of the most significant features is the decline in the consumer market. Even the demographic dividend advantage seems to have lost its effectiveness. First and foremost, China's per capita economic level is not optimal, with a certain gap compared to developed countries like the United States. Lack of sufficient per capita disposable income will limit people's consumption levels. Many individuals also choose to use their disposable income to buy real estate, such as houses and cars, starting a life burdened with debts. After paying car and mortgage loans every month, they may not have much money left, making it impossible to drive consumer market demand. Secondly, modern consumers no longer prioritize purchasing cheap but abundant products. This shift away from low-end products also means that the low-end product market no longer benefits from the demographic dividend. However, not everyone can afford mid to high-end products, and many ordinary citizens find them unaffordable. At the same time, there are many unstable factors in the mainland's consumer market, making business operations riskier. Negative online reviews can easily create storms on the internet, leading to self-imposed boycotts by more and more people. Companies may experience a significant decline in performance, especially when scandals involving brand ambassadors emerge. The risk increases accordingly. It's worth noting that the current mainland consumer market is not active, and one important factor is the lingering impact of the 3-year-long pandemic. During the pandemic, many people were unemployed, lacked sufficient savings, and had to bear enormous living costs. This has caused people to gradually develop concerns about the uncertainty of the future and, therefore, prefer to save money to have a more secure life. Under this trend, mainland enterprises cannot stimulate consumption in the short term. Still, China's vast consumer market remains a crucial pillar for economic development. Despite the current inactivity in the consumption sector, the mainland consumer market can continue to develop, indicating tremendous hidden potential. To unlock this potential, the most important step is to raise the personal income levels of the population, provide a comprehensive welfare system to provide them with peace of mind, and fundamentally increase consumer confidence. If the mainland consumer market can operate well, it can also drive employment and economic growth to create a positive cycle. Meanwhile, addressing the issue of mainland employment, the current competition is intensifying, and many people are facing difficulties finding jobs. The mainland can stimulate the vitality of the consumer market from this aspect. Only when people have enough money in their pockets will they be willing to spend. This will play an indispensable role in the mainland's economic recovery. Although various challenges and difficulties may arise during this process, as long as the potential of the consumer market is stimulated, the mainland's economic growth will surely reach new heights. Well, regarding the matter of chargebacks, I'm not angry anymore. I feel quite sad now, especially with the current situation on various platforms. There are teams forming to collectively request refunds, and there are even strategies being shared on how to maximize the refund process. It's like a harvesting of unsuspecting users. When you think about how deeply this impacts, it's truly disheartening. So I don't see chargebacks as infuriating. Instead, it's genuinely a sad situation. It's the sorrow of a nation. If this trend continues, where everyone understands how to exploit chargebacks, without the government implementing policies to curb this, I believe the entire e-commerce ecosystem, the entire chain, will be shattered and pushed to an extreme. This New Year's was truly laughable. It pushed our entire clothing industry off a cliff. Before New Year's, we could still make some sales, and everyone thought that after New Year's, with another month of cold weather, there would be another wave of winter clothing sales. We were all set to consume more. However, as soon as New Year's passed, we couldn't sell a single piece of winter clothing. This directly led to many stalls having excess inventory, and now they're quite desperate. I've been chatting with many stall owners these past few days, and they are all quite anxious because they have excess inventory. But don't worry, let me show you. In our case, in the showroom alone, I've stocked nearly tens of thousands of down jackets, and the local cost price for down jackets here is quite high. As you know, many are sourced right after they are taken down from stalls, and the cost price is almost around 100 or a bit more. We also have over 2,000 square meters of showroom with lots and lots of down jackets. So, everyone needs to stay calm. A company with a GMV of 1 billion yuan says they'll shut down. Last year, it was thriving. Now it seems quite bleak. A friend's company is in the women's clothing category. The owner started with Taobao, and after earning millions, bought an entire floor. This floor includes a warehouse, customer service, logistics, and a design department. Now the warehouse is stocked with tens of millions worth of inventory. Let me show you. Usually dresses that sell for over 100 or 200 yuan are now being sold for 10 yuan each, and some are even 5 yuan. The owner says the reason for closing down is the excessively high return rate. The warehouse has accumulated massive stock, so they have no choice but to exit the scene. Sadly, it's now 1:42 in the afternoon, it's Saturday, and if you look around the mall, there's no one. The entire mall is deserted. Can you still do business in such conditions? Can physical stores still survive? Pinduoduo has lost 500,000 merchants, and Taobao, Tmall, and JD.com have lost millions of merchants, leading to the closure of hundreds of thousands of express delivery service points. 3 million express delivery workers are now unemployed, and various means of transportation for express delivery, including trucks, cargo ships, and airplanes, have all come to a halt. With online shopping and food delivery gone, the cost of daily necessities has risen, the frequency of purchasing clothes has decreased, and while physical stores see an increase in customers, the number of unemployed individuals has also risen. One Tmall store, which was once ranked second globally, announced its closure. This store, associated with the Benefit brand, had several popular products with thousands of monthly sales, making it successful in the cosmetics category. However, due to declining traffic on platforms like Alibaba and Douyin, along with intense competition and imitation within China, the market share shrank. The economic impact in China, coupled with decreased high-value consumer spending, has caused the market to become sluggish. E-commerce is now caught in a long-planned struggle. After the new year, the down jacket market collapsed, and live streamers offering billion yuan sales often end up refunding 85%. The prevalence of chargebacks has further worsened the e-commerce environment. Many sellers on platforms like Pinduoduo and Taobao are struggling, and buyers are expressing dissatisfaction with the perceived low quality and profitability. The malicious competition between buyers and sellers complicates matters. The platform's intention might be to provide refunds for poorly received products, but the actual policy execution may differ. The rise of a considerable number of professional freeloaders focused on exploiting the system has become prevalent. Some argue that chargebacks are undermining the values of the younger generation. The creation of bizarre chargeback cases, such as taking pictures of books with flashlights for a refund, adds to this sentiment. Even children are now exploiting chargebacks to get free snacks, claiming they can't finish what they bought. Some say chargebacks are akin to bullying, as they allow users to exploit the system regardless of the product's quality. Despite the initial imperfections, the implementation of chargebacks may ultimately affect a different group, the sellers who engage in fraudulent activities and have been previously complained about. Closing down e-commerce platforms is not a straightforward solution. The challenge lies in balancing the impact on unemployment caused by the disappearance of e-commerce. If physical store landlords reduce rent, physical stores may improve their services and quality to better compete.